Alrighty, Sky Masters, we're back with another Blender tutorial series for No Man's Sky plugin, add-on plugger. I just invented a new word. I'm pretty sure some people already use that word. We are not going to talk about that topic. We're actually going to talk about the No Man's Sky plugin. I love good follies like that. Anyway, yeah, this is part 4, so we're going to be checking along. If you haven't watched the first ones, number 1 is a little bit long-winded. I did chop it up into some chapters, but I wouldn't be in a rush to try to jump in and go build something really quickly. I think fundamentally understanding it is going to save you some time in the end. So, a few hours of digging around and looking at some videos probably be prudent for you in the long run, but I know how it is. You just want to jump in and build something cool. So we are going to do that. But if you haven't watched those videos, go back to the other videos. Maybe I'll put a link in the description down there for those other ones. There is a playlist on my YouTube channel. It's the second one down. It's called Blender Tutorial or whatever it is. It's got the 3 videos. It's the Blender plugin for No Man's Sky. You'll see it there. It's the new playlist for you guys. So with that being said, we are going to talk about what you need to do for here and moving forward. I do believe I already said it in the video, the last ones. You should go into a creative save and make a base called test. And that's what we're going to be messing around with. We're going to be doing some testing, and this is going to be, if you want to follow along and do some things, that's what I would do too. And then there's a lot of other information in there. We're going to be kind of going through this a little bit too. I'll be repeating myself a lot because, repetition is going to get you getting on these shortcuts and all these little things. So it's just like anything else. You just need to dive in and do it and play. And there's really nothing you can hurt by just going into Blender and just making stuff with the No Man's Sky Blender add-on and saving as presets and stuff like that. You can do that. You don't need to open up No Man's Sky and risk, oh, I'm messing up something or anything like that. Just play around in Blender, man. Don't save it. Who cares? No venture, no gain. F something up. Fall forward, guys. All right, so with that being said, you have your test base in creative. Let's go. So I'm going to open up my save editor here. Let's bring this bad boy over. Hit that little cup of Java. Oh, cup of Javas. That's sounding right up my alley here. Hold up a second. I got a cup of Java. Ew, coming back. Look at that. Capital Credit Union. It's in the top 10 credit unions for all of the country. Just found that out. A little tidbit of information that you don't need right now. Okay, so we're going to go into Edit Raw JSON. Let's go up to Player State Data. Now we're going to go all the way down to our little spot here like we've talked about before. And we're going to go into Persistent Player Bases. And I don't think it's the last one. I think I'm looking for Test 1, right? Let's see, that's NMS. I think it's back here on number 4, I think here. So Test 1 for Blender. I'm going to Control A, Control C, which highlights and then copies. All right. Those are standard, PC shortcuts for just about every program. It's Control A, Control C. So that's being utilized here. And then we're going to go right into Blender now. And boom, that's the new Blender 3.2.0 cute little scene they got there. Awesome. I just met a guy that does all of his video editing in Blender. That is weird. That's weird. He knows it's weird too. He said it was weird. Find it odd. Okay, so we have just a base computer here. Look at this. Cute, right? This is what you should be looking at right now. All right, we've got our little base computer in here. It says Test 1 Blender. We have the base computer just chilling right there. We've talked about what kind of mouse you should have. Scroll wheel in the center with a button click. That's going to be important for navigating around this world. So if I hold that center button and move, it pivots. If I scroll in and out, it zooms in and out, right? Okay. The next little key function for you to move around is holding Shift while you push in that little center button on the cog wheel. What is that thing called? I'm going to call it the wheel, the mouse wheel, the center wheel. If you hold Shift, look at that. You're zooming around. This is how you get really surgical with where you want to be at and how far you want to get in, okay? You're just going to have to play around with this, and then when you get into bigger builds and you need to be over on this side of town, You're going to find out how to start pivoting around. It takes a little bit of time. It's going to be awkward at first. You're not going to be looking very eloquent while you're doing it, but you need to fall forward. So this is how you're going to be doing this. All right, that's pretty important right there. We've talked about these guys over here. We'll talk about this here in a little bit more. I don't think we really went down the UI at all and all that. And that's not something I'm going to go all the way through right now. Let's kind of talk about it. We know how to import. We at the very up in the top is our import and then our export function. We come in like this and then we leave going out this way. There's some other stuff up here. I don't really mess with this stuff. Haven't looked into it, man. I haven't needed to or wanted to. A lot of this stuff in tools has just been, some of this duplicate along curve has just been added. We've got some stuff in, we'll talk about this a little bit later. That's going to be a little bit more advanced stuff. And plus, I don't really use it all that often. So I'm not on par to maybe tutorialize that for you at this moment. So, but really important over here is this, what part count is kind of new because that not used to be there, and we have to look down here for it. But this snap function is going to be pretty cool. Let's go and grab us like a cube here, or like a bio room. What do we call it? A room? We'll go ahead and type room. Nope. Dome. What is it called? Let's see. All right, so if we take these file trees down, let's take color off. I hate this stuff. I like to be set it up like this. Power and logic, let's take that off. All right, we're talking about tools right now, okay? Alloy structure, what is those things called, man? Everything, the names change all the time, and the way this is in here is, I'm not complaining. I'm not the guy who built this or anything like that. I'm grateful for the way everything is, but it's changed several different times and it gets a little crazy. Bio room, there it is. I don't know, I just had to type in bio. Okay, so if we pop in this bio room and let's say we want a corridor. Let's pop in a corridor right now. Boom. It's going to snap to wherever it wanted to snap to. I don't know if it's north or south. Sometimes it snaps over here. It doesn't really seem to make it. I'm not quite sure what dictates where it snaps to first is what I'm trying to say. But when you want to manipulate this and change it, the snap part over here is going to help you out with this. So we can hit next and you can see that. Source, that is for something different. I can't quite remember what the heck that is for, but I know that the source is going to come in part later when we start using it. When I start building, I'll remember what the heck this is for. So I'm not the best teacher, guys, but you know what? Google Blender tutorials for No Man's Sky and see what your options are, and then I'll see you back here in a little bit. I'm sorry I got the monopoly on it. We got Peter Lawn and stuff like that too, and he's good. If you want to build a Swiss watch, Peter Lawn might be another guy for you too. I don't know if he's still doing it over there. We had a falling out. Okay, so that's snap right there. Color is pretty much, that's self-explanatory, right? I'll tell you one thing about color. There is something cool about color. Let's take it a sofa. Let's grab in, let's take a sofa. Let's Alt-D this, and I'm going to duplicate this sofa a few times. We're going to talk about what I'm doing here in just a moment. I'm not trying to throw out tricks for you. I'm going to show you about colors, though. Weird thing about color is, like, say I want to make this one blue. Now all of them seem to be blue. Now if I touch this one and make it red, they're all going to turn red. But if you go back into the game, it'll be blue and red. I don't know why it does this in Blender. It's kind of a weird thing. So, yeah. Just pay attention to that. I mean, you're going to change them all red, and you're going to be like, what is this? What's going on? It's going to honor it in the game. I don't know why it does that in here, and it turns them all like that. It's kind of garbage, but, hey, that's little tiny things. So, all right, so you see me, I've just made a big circle. I'm gonna select everything at once so I can delete it. I hit C on my keyboard, and I go over here, and I hit my my left mouse button. And then I can hit my right mouse button to get rid of the circle, because we'd be in like circle edit mode, and then I can hit delete. Boom. All right, so that C brings up the circle, selecting circle, and I can select a lot of stuff. Now, let me tell you something very important right now, the most important damn thing. Stop, write this down. Don't mess with your base computer. Don't mess with it. Don't mess with it. And let me show you how to not mess with it. Now, you're going to use your base computer as a center stone for snapping things onto so you know where your center is at. But you can't move the base computer. I mean, you can move it in Blender, but if you move it if you go back into No Man's Sky, it's going to be a mess. And then there's going to be all kinds of stuff. You won't be able to edit. You'll have to delete it. The game is going to go, what's going on? So in Blender, we don't want to manipulate this center cap because XYZ is all based off of this center stone. So you can't move it, okay? So when we're in here playing around, so I use it as a snap piece. So we can snap something in here, and you might be able to put something in here as like a place marker if you want to. If you want to be super careful in the beginning, and it might be a prudent idea. I don't know what you want to put in there. I don't really, it could be anything, something that you just know you're not going to use. Something like that. And then you go over here in this top right corner up at the very top. You can see the base flag, and then you can see the building harvester that I just put in there. Now, if I don't want to mess with anything, or I want to prevent me from moving this base flag or doing anything with it, turn the eyeball off. Once you turn the eyeball off, it's not in the scene anymore. It's still there, it still exists, but it's not in the scene for you to manipulate and mess up. I can't stress this enough. Eyeball on, off. Do not mess with the base computer. If you follow that rule, you're going to be fine. I do it all the time. I mess up all the time. This is why I'm saying this to you, because you guys aren't going to be building like me. You're going to probably be caring about it and trying to share it and everything else like that. And if you do this, you won't be able to upload or do things. It's going to mess the whole game up. Me, I don't really care. I build, I take a video, and I delete and I move on. I got like 500 builds, and I don't think that's where you guys are at yet, so you probably have some care on this. So I'm saving you some time and some troubles by already telling you that I F up on this all the time. Don't do it. All right, so that little eyeball on and off thing is really, really cool. And then scene collections, we're going to get into that a little bit later because it's super advanced, because now we can have a bunch of scenes with the eyeballs on and off and things like that. So like say if we're building a cathedral, and we've built the shell, and now we want to go inside of it and do some decorating, we can take the roof and put it on a scene and turn the eyeball off, and then all of a sudden we have a cutout section where we can see inside of, and we can go inside and manipulate this building. All right, so so we were in color. We talked about the base flag. Power and logic's going to kind of have its own little thing here. So, all right, so we got a switch. All right, let's just grab a switch here really quick, and let me duplicate this. Okay, so Alt-D, and then hit the right mouse button to get out of edit mode, and then you can drag over. Now, you see that I've got this XYZ, the blue, red, and green here. That's because I've clicked this button over here. I think if you haven't clicked this yet while you're in Blender, you don't have anything. It might be on this just what you have here, and then like you're going to be looking like this, like how do I move it? I don't have that. That's all over here, and there's shortcuts to spacebar G. Then what is this one here? It's spacebar R. So rotate, movement. I don't know why it's G, but that's the way it is. And then scale. Scaling can be done just by holding S. So we can zoom in on this. This is the power and logic in here. And we can just hold S, or you can come over here and then hold the white circle only. If you start pulling on other things on scale, you're gonna. This is something new that happens. We can start scaling and extruding is what I'd be calling it, and out from different directions on this. So I don't like using this here. I like using the S button. It's symmetrical. It's going to scale up symmetrically, all evenly, same percentage from wherever vantage point you're looking at from. So if that makes sense to you, okay? All right, so power and logic. I just wanted to explain why I was moving and how I was moving. I'm going to go back to the just the move tab here. So I have my XYZ. That's what you're going to mostly be using, and then your rotate function too, And we're going to go into this a little bit more depth to control and see how you are rotating. All right, so power and logic, we're just going to keep on going down this a little bit. Let's select these things. So I've got one selected here. Now, if I hit Shift and I click this one, left click, Sorry, I'm gonna have to be very specific with what I'm hitting and everything like that. So I'm not a tutorial artist. So feel free to get contacts with my lawyers if I miss something for you guys, or just say it in the comments or whatever. Yeah, and I'm sorry to be a jackass with you, but yeah, this is us hanging out, man. We're friends now. All right, so I've got these things selected, and I'm gonna hit connect. Now we have a wire in there that's connected these two. And that's it. As far as whatever I'm using this for, I go and find my piece and I connect. That's what I'm doing. A lot of this I'll just fine tune in the game. I'm not a big power and logic in No Man's Sky. I didn't think it's No Man's Sky has a really poor power and like almost no logic. Like we should have some presets and things like that, or be able to save some logics as presets. I just disagree with their whole power and logic thing. I like it because when they introduced it, because of the wires, it introduced scaling. So I stay away from wires and power and stuff like that, unless I just have to, or I'm usually in creative just to play around. So I don't really care about power and logic. There's some better tutorials, I guess you can watch the Charlie Banks tutorial on his page where you actually get the plugin on the Nexus page on his YouTube. I think he goes into power and logic a little bit more, but I think I just kind of, I don't know, split, divide. I am not going to go in all that stuff. New points. Sorry, I'm not going to go into deep on that one, but your boxes and connecting, I got you that far, right? Okay. So color, we're going to turn power and logic off. Build. Okay, so right underneath build, we have parts and presets. Parts are, all the parts that are currently in this build of the plugin from the game, which is usually stays pretty current. I mean, he's not the first one to go jumping over here and fix it after an update, but he gets around to it, So, and then presets over here, if we hit the presets tab, if you didn't watch the last video where I show you how to install your presets, install your add-ons, you should go back there and watch that one. It'd be pretty prudent of you. And then I'm also, in a few videos coming up here pretty soon, I'll be giving you guys all of my presets. And a lot of other presets from a lot of other people who are cool. Zootech and things like that. Just a lot of cool things in there. As soon as I get the language and spellings and everything all organized, because it is a mess. So I would give it to you now, but it'd be embarrassing, so I'm not going to do it. You have to wait. But we got these presets in here now. We're going to be talking about those in a minute, or a little bit later. So launch asset browser. I don't even know. What asset browser? What is this thing? It is error. Okay. Save a preset. This is kind of cool. While we're building in here, we can use that C button to highlight items, and anything that's highlighted, we can come over here and hit preset and then save our preset. We're going to do one. We're going to save a preset. You're going to have your first preset of your own at the end of this video. It's going to be something cool. I have no idea what we're building. I have no idea what my end goal is here. It's just to hang out with you and get you better at Blender. Okay, so we're in our presets. We can look at these. Let's check this out. So edit's going to get rid of, I think if we hit edit in here, if you want to edit one of these, I think it's best to do it in here without the base, because there's two different ways to do this. So I want to show you something. Let's bring in this sky base down here. Okay, let it load up. It's doing its little magic. Look at all those little numbers. Okay, so we got this little sky base in here, and you see how it's all connected as one. Yeah. This is kind of weird how it does this, but I'll show you a trick around this too. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this. Nope, I'm going to Control Z. For some reason, the delete function doesn't quite work. I would Control Z this because it comes as a preset, and then it just got rid of the ring. You see how that happened? There's some little quirky bugs in here because, well, we're building No Man's Sky bases inside of Blender, so I'm sure there's some things that are just not compatible for some reason, or the script or Python or how he wrote it. I don't claim to understand any of that, but that's where we're at on that. So the presets, let's go ahead and try to, I'm going to bring in my base flag, and I'm going to go into edit sky base. I want to see what happens here, because as far as I knew, if we did this, it's going to See how we just opened up a new Blender here, and we're out of everything. So this is a whole nother Blender setup, and we don't have our base flag, and we're not even in the No Man's Sky save editor text anymore. So if you hit edit, if you want to edit these, don't edit them while you're messing and manipulating your base out of the save file. Just open up Blender by itself. Okay, you could do all this without even a save file in the game. So if you see, now you got it like this. Now, I just wanted to make sure that this was still going to do that like this. So I'm going to hit Control Z, and we're going back to our Test 1 Blender. We have our base flag in here, and I'm going to hit the sky base in here. Let me show you what you can do, though. Okay, so we've got this in here, and we got it in there, and I can't manipulate this, though, because I can't grab these parts. But what you can do is let's go ahead and export this. Now we've got it exported. We're going to close down, not close down Blender, just minimize it. Come back over here and hit, just hover on the, as long as your mouse is hovering over it, that's what you're controlling on your screen. Hit delete, and then hit Control V, hit Control A, Control C, and copy it again. Copy the same thing that you just exported, go back into Blender, and hit import. Now we're going to import the same exact scene back in here, except for it's going to be individualized, and we can manipulate it. And our base flag is still down there, and it's not turned off. We want to turn that base flag off, guys, because if I want to come in here and start manipulating this and grabbing it and moving it over, if I didn't have my base flag turned off right then, my base flag would have just moved over, and it'd have been corruption. So I hope I can save you guys time. Base flag. This whole point of this video right here is like base flags, man. Don't mess with that base flag. I will come hunt you down if you touch that base flag. Got me? All right. Just kidding. All right, so we moved that around. Let's go ahead and go into this this spinny here. We're going to spin. Look at that. That's cool, huh? We can spin it all the way around. What if I spun it right here and I don't like that? I want to go back to exactly where I was. I haven't let go of the left mouse button. I'm just kind of spinning around. Oh, my shnikes. I don't want it here. I really messed up. I can hit the right button, and it'll snap back to where it was. So as long as you don't let go of anything to finalize and everything, the right button can set you back to where you were. Right? Got that? Let's talk about that one more time. I like this here. Oh, I've tilted it. I've gone all the way around. I've circled. Where were we? Where were we? Boom, I hit the right click button before I let go. So don't dedicate anything. Hold it. Hold on. Hold on to what you're doing till you're sure. And if you do mess up, there's always the Alt-Z. So boom, we got that there. We can Alt-Z. Okay, and I think this thing pretty much holds like an unlimited amount of undos. I don't know, it's not unlimited, but there might be something you could set in settings of how much it will, but I can go back pretty far, so on that note. So now we've got that in there, and we can manipulate tiny little things at a time. I mean, if we want to use, let's get surgicals. Let's say we got that little circle here, so I hit the C button, and let's say we want to move that room over. Let's say we don't like it there. We're going to move that over. Okay. All right, so we just moved that over. We can start dissecting this if we really want to. I mean, we can start moving stuff. You want to see what's inside of this building? Let's open up let's touch that one, and then I'm going to hit Control. I'm going to touch both of them at the same time, and then we're opening up. Well, there's nothing in there. So let's hit this one, hit the Shift button, touch all of these ones because we're selecting them all at the same time, and we're going to move it over. See, now we can see on the inside. Yeah, we can get in here and do some things. I don't know what we can want to do. Hit the Shift in the middle button to slide yourself up. Remember how I told you you're going to use that? We're going to get in here and start fine-tuning little scenes. I'm going to come in here and grab this. What if I wanted some trees in there, you know? We can hit the tree in there. We can hit Alt-D, duplicate that tree, and move that tree over. Now we got two trees in there. It's getting kind of festive in there, right? I know. I'm bursting with fruit flavor over here. Cool. We're just navigating around, man. We're getting a little bit around. That center button, move. Center button and Shift, slide. Okay. We get the C button, highlights. Cool, right? All right. And then all of our tabs over here. The spacebar G goes into move, and then I just like to click. I don't know. I'm not a space bar shortcut hidden person. I don't like these shortcuts in here, and I don't think G never sat well with me for that. There's probably something more important in its place, but I like to click buttons over here. That's the way I do with these anyway. Okay, so we built something cool. Now I want to erase this all. I just looked over to see that my base flag over here is eyeball is off. I can't stress that enough, guys. I mess that up all the time. All right, highlighted everything, deleted it. We got to get rid of the circle. We got to hit that right click button to get out of whatever edit mode you're in, and then now you hit delete because we have them all done up. Okie dokie. Man, we got some pretty. That is pretty basic of where you're manipulating and moving and how you move everything. I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, with those things that I just taught you right there, you should be able to put anything in here and tilt it and move it and get it anywhere you want. The more comfortable that you get with your muscle memory, the faster and more efficient you will be at this. Right now, you're going to be fumbling around all slow, and that's not that's just the way it goes. Or you're just going to come in here and you guys are going to be building stuff bigger and better than me tomorrow. And that's cool too, man. That's what I'm here for, guys. I want to see it, man. Maybe it'll spark my interest in building again. I've kind of lost it. Okay, so let's talk about a few things. Let's add in it could be anything, guys. Let's a salvage crate. Let's zoom in on this. I'm going to hit the shift button and scoot down. Hit the shift button and scoot over. Shift button and center wheel on the mouse. Let me get very specific with how I'm saying things. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not realizing that I'm talking faster than I can keep up with my own actions here. All right, so we've got this piece selected. Now I'm going to show you where, I don't know why it doesn't automatically open up onto this, but if you click on your part and you come over here below this top right panel, we come down over here. There's some cool tools in here that we're going to talk about later, but the one that you probably want on most of the time so you can see your XYZ manipulations is this little box right here. You see this little box right here? It's called Object Properties. Click it. Now, you have this XYZ and everything in here, and you can see that we have all of our numbers. So if you wanted this box tilted at a 15-degree angle, you've got it, my friends. You've got it. Let's go ahead and go into our rotate mode. We're going to click that on, and I'm going to grab the red circle right here, and we're going to start tilting. Now, if we look over there, we can see that number is moving. I'm going to show you guys. I just clicked the right button to get back, snap back to where I was. That number right over here, you see that rotation X? We're going to take that rotation X, and we can move that. Now, you can see that I'm in the plus side of the number. So what if I went over this way? Well, we got degrees. So there's some minuses and negatives on some things, but we're not going to hit that here. Oh, there's the minuses. Okay, so yeah, just pay attention to this. I'm going to go back to where this is at. We can go over here, and I can say 75 and hit enter. Boom. We got a 75-degree angle on that. Now, what if I hit, let's Alt-D this. Now, what if I want the second one? I'm on the second one. There's two of them right in the same place right now because I just duplicated it with the Alt-D. Now I want one, we can spin it back over this way or have one in the middle. You guys get my gist, right? I mean, I get surgical sometimes, and then sometimes I just eyeball it because really, who's going to be in the game measuring? I don't know. I mean, if you want to get, there's certain things you want to get surgical on. I know some people just are always surgical. I'm not the Swiss watch builder. I'm the crazy abstract VR stuff, more so for me anyway. All right, so we've got that the object properties down in there for you guys. I'm just throwing in another piece here so you guys can see. We're going to manipulate some more parts. We're going to spin it around. This the Z is the blue, red is the X, and the green will be the Y. All right, why? Because I said so. Not sure who decided why all that. I think it's the shapes or the way the lines go. Makes sense, right? I don't know. All right, so I'm going to delete that. Let's go open our base flag back up. Now, we had some add-ons earlier. Now we're going to get into something really cool, okay? and we're probably going to maybe end the video on this here because we talked about some really cool things, and I don't want it super long-winded, and I want you guys to be able to go back over this and anybody can build something. You know, within a half an hour, you guys built something really cool, right? So we put our base flag eyeball back on, okay? Now, these add-ons that we added on, if you didn't go watch the add-on video, you should do that. Maybe I could talk about it really quickly here. If we go into edit and go into preferences, you don't need to download anything. It already comes in here, and just for some reason, it's not clicked on, okay? If we click on to add-ons right down here, you can see, let me show you here, add mesh extra objects. Click that one. And then there is another one that says add curves extra objects. We won't get into curves first, but we're definitely going to get into the mesh. I'm going to teach you guys something really cool here. We're going to go into a little bit advanced, but it's not that hard to follow along. We're going to build something super cool. You guys are going to go impress your friends, and everybody's going to go, ooh, wow. And then once you see how to do this, you guys are going to be like, all right, this is cool. We can work with this. All right. I would, while you're in here, just go ahead. I have clicked on all boxes that have anything to do with curves and meshes because why not? You know, no venture, no gain. I have no idea. I keep on, the more and more I start digging into this program, the more and more stuff I can find that I can utilize. There's a lot of stuff in this program that is not going to do you any well because we have to stay within the physics rules of the game. We can't do everything in here and export it back into No Man's Sky and have it translate very well. It doesn't. So what you did was added those extra objects. Mesh and curves at least, because if you don't do that, you can't go further on in this video. Okay, so let's click that base flag because this is going to be our center capstone, and down here on the bottom, it should be on the bottom for you. It might be at the top if you haven't gone through my setup course. If you haven't set it up, then you're probably been lost this whole video, but there is a setup video. Let me move my my face here a little bit. I'll shrink it down here. So right up underneath my face here, you can see I have object mode, we have view, we have select, we have add an object. This is going to be somewhat important later on, add objects and things like that. This is more an advanced thing. This is going to be something that's going to be super important. I'm going to get into that a little bit. That's how you are viewing and where the median points are, and global and local. It's this is where you're going to get some surgical stuff. We're not going to talk about that quite yet, but it's super important. Well, maybe we will. I don't want super long videos, but I know you guys want to build something cool, so let's do that. We're talking about some basic functionings right now. We'll get into some more advanced functionings. This is going to be some more advanced stuff down here. I think so. It's not really advanced, but it's a little bit more. You guys have already bitten off a bunch, and we're going to get you guys your reward right now. So let's go in to add. Now let's add a mesh object. Okay, let's go into mesh. Let's go for the gusto. We're going to go and add a, well, we're not going to do the gusto. Let's add a Torus here. Just a twisted Torus, super toroid, Torus knot, could be anything. All right, see, we have a little Torus down there. And let's go ahead and hit the move button. Let's get it away from that base computer. Let's turn the base computer off now because we used it as our center stone, and we snapped our piece in, and then we turn the eyeball off on the base flag so we're not messing with it anymore. So I should name the video, Don't Mess with Your Base Flag, okay? All right, so let's get some information on this piece here because this is nothing that's in the game, right? I mean, this is something that's in Blender, and this is, I mean, we can't export this or do anything to it. And we have these lines. You see these little lines, these lines going this way and these lines going that way. And then each one of these squares right here would be a face, okay? Look down here. Very bottom right-hand corner where my mouse is at. We have some information here on this piece of this neat piece of geometry in front of us, okay? It has 576 faces, okay? So if I'm going to attach some No Man's Sky base parts to this, it's going to attach them at the face points, okay? I know this is a little complex for you guys to go on, but I'm just trying to explain this why we build something cool, okay? Follow me here, okay? We can't have this super complex. So if we're doing something with meshes, we got to make sure that we're under 3,000, correct? Because that's where the base, I mean, if you want to upload, I go way over it all the time, but that faces down there is going to be a very key element. That's where I'm at for you. That's what these are important numbers down here to say how complex your scene is. Okay, because it's not just about parts. So we have this piece in here. I am going to hit S and scale that thing bigger. All right, look at that. Now it's all looking cute, right? And we are going to set this over just a little bit. Now, what piece do we want to replace every face with? So on this piece over here, I'm going to replace a No Man's Sky part on every single one of these squares, which there happens to be 576 of them. So if I go back to my base flag and turn it on and click it, and let's just go in and hit light. I'm going to type in light at the bottom of this part list down here, okay? Let's type in light. Now, I think I just want a regular pill light. Let's go ahead and get a blue one because I like blue. Okay, so we have a pill light snapped at the center down here. It doesn't really matter where you snap it. It doesn't really matter that it was on the base flag, but this is kind of I'm teaching you guys the center cap stone and turning on and off this base flag. I'm going to turn off the base flag here. Okay. Now, this seems to be a good size. I'm actually going to blow this up a little bit more because I want it big. Okay? Just imagine when we go back into the game and we load at our spot here, we're going to be just chilling with this big old circle, okay? I got the pill light here. I've got my circle mesh that I've added from Blender itself. Now, how am I going to get this pill light to follow this form over here? What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the pill light, and then I'm going to hit Shift, and then click on the torus, okay? Now, hit Control P, and it's going to set parent to object. Now, the parent is the object. The whatever's highlighted, the yellow is the object, and the selected piece, yeah, there's, if I said that right. Anyway, I'm going, I don't want to confuse you guys. Anyway, we've selected that, and that's how you're going to do it. You do the Control P to set the object as the parent. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come over here, and below this little piece, that little square that says Object Properties, there is a little tool icon that looks like a wrench. Click that little wrench. Hold up a second. Nope. I'm sorry, guys. Don't click the wrench. That wrench is for if we had too many faces and we wanted to get the faces on a smaller. That's going to be some more advanced stuff later on, okay? You don't need to go into the wrench. I'm sorry. We will go into the wrench later when we have added a piece in here that has so many damn faces. It will have like 20,000 faces. We can't get 20,000 faces into the game. So that's going to be the real secret piece later on for you guys that are thinking, okay, so we can bring mesh models into Blender. Oh, yeah. Your light bulb's going off right now, isn't it? You're like, whoa, okay, this is cool. So what we're going to do now, we're on that object properties. We're going to go down to instancing. Okay. Now, when we're in instancing, let's go hit one of these. Boom. See how those lights just came in? Those lights just came in. Looking really cool too, man, right? All right, that's awesome. So they're not quite in there yet because if we look at the top right, we don't have any pieces in there. These are like ghost pieces, okay? So these are instances, which I don't know what an instance is in the old 3D modeling world, but to me, in this application, building a No Man's Sky Blender here, it's just a ghost piece. It's a place marker right now. We need to make these real, okay? So let's go down in here and go to Object. We're going to go to Transform. No, we're not. We're going to go to Apply. I'm sorry, guys. Go to Object, go to Apply, and then go to the second one up, make instances real. Now, as soon as I click this, look in the top right, boom, all the blue light wall lights have just become real, and they're just sitting in there, right? Blaze flag is turned off. I looked over there. I'm getting better at this. I think me talking to you guys is going to get me better at not messing with my base flag, man. Okay, so we don't need this in there anymore. Let's go ahead and delete our piece that we have in there. Base flag is turned off, so I can highlight all of these at once now, hitting the C button. Let's highlight all of these and bring them up. All right, so cool. We have this little Torus that's really cool looking of all these blue pill lights. Isn't that cool, right? Now we can export this and get it into the game. So let's go ahead and hit export. And I'm just going to minimize this down because I might keep it up open later. I do a lot of bouncing in and out, so I'll have this still kind of open. I'll have the blender open if I'm trying to do some editing. We'll get into that later too, how you can go back and forth really quickly to really edit some stuff and actually build with terrain too. Because if you guys notice inside a blender, there's no terrain. What if we're building on a mountain? What is around us? We have no idea. I'm going to teach you guys how to map that out and get an idea of what's around you. You can take. I used to take photos, and I was like, "Wow, how do I do this?" Well, you lay pill lights all over the place, and you have this little map. We'll do it, and I'll show you. You can do caves and stuff like that. It is super cool. All right, so let's go ahead and hit the export. Minimize that back down. We're hovering over our window here for the JSON file in the save editor. I'm going to hit delete. Nope. Oh, that was over on Blender there, over on my OBS, excuse me. Click on this, hit delete, and then Control V. Now, I've got this that file in there. We're going to close that out, and it's going to say yes, because I haven't hit any stray marks. And then I'm going to close this out, and it's going to say, do you want to save? I'm going to say yes, because I feel like I haven't made any stray marks. But if you feel like you haven't made a stray mark, hit no. All right, we're going to close all this out, and let's go into the game, and hopefully we're sitting at that place, and I don't have to just go traveling there. All right, why everything Steam is updating and doing its thing, huh? See if we can get this. It takes longer for Steam to update than it does to load game. So, anyway, we can stare at this mean-looking Sentinel right there, huh? I have no idea why I got this on my background. All right, Steam is synchronizing. Sorry, guys, bear with me. I could pause it, but why? We're all hanging out, man. I got some mods running. Cool. Let's go into my last creative here. It's the 14th. Naming our saves. Beeblebum had a great talk show today with Nelly and CG something. I never heard of those people before, but they were really interesting to talk to. And Beeblebum is just a cool dude. I don't know, man. The guy's awesome, man. He's got his little whiskey or his little drink and hanging out, man. Just doing a good job over there, man. I like the guy. I was looking for my wallet. I think I'm going to join him for some reason. I don't know. Be a supporter of the bee. I like what he does, man. Really good channel. Him and Captain. All right, so let's hopefully we'll be at this location. I can't promise you anything. Oh, they are over there. Okay. Okay. All right, so there's the let's go turn this on. Check that out, guys. So we got that in there. Let's go turn the power on for these guys. Terrible place for a base. Storms. I'll be moving this to a dead moon. I tell you what, I told you guys about where you should put your test 1 base at. I would put it on a dead moon. There you go. They're all shining upwards. Now I'm going to show you how to manipulate these individually and how to get a little bit more fine-tuning on stuff like this. Because we can make them bigger individually and then spin them around. We can duplicate and then spin around, so we have the light pointed in every direction. But that's going to be some more advanced side of things. We're going to get into the next video. We'll get into that bottom part manipulator, and we'll build some more cool stuff and go into some more advanced techniques. So this gets you guys going in understanding the tilt and pull and push and all that other stuff of the parts of how to basically manipulate them. And then we went into a little gym at the end by adding some mesh torus and doing some instancing. I remember watching Ash Factor's video and being blown away by that when he did it. So thanks to him for putting that out there first and figuring out how to do that. And on that, we'll end that there, man. You guys built a Torus. You got some basic functioning going on in the Blender, and we built something very cool that most people don't get to see in the game. And then now you guys are going to go into that add mesh and start looking at the shapes in there, and you know how to add pieces to them. I hope that light bulb is going off in your head right now. Super cool. Hit that like and subscribe. Share it. Tell your friends. Blender building is cool, man. It's getting a bad name. I don't know why glitch builders and stuff like that, and some of them have this weird thing about my exploit is better than the other. I don't know. I love all art, man, and I like no limits. And here we are, guys. Definitely are in those two brackets, right? So very cool. You just did it. All right. I'm at the end of the video, like I always say. Call somebody, tell them you love them.